You're good.
Are we on?
Mhm.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Happy Thursday! In case you were wondering what day it is.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Welcome to Thursday.
You can tell it's Thursday because it's 3 p.m. and we're back on your timeline.
And we are here with the early happy hour.
Cheers.
A little bit of wine from Art Mart. Check out those local restaurants and other places.
We forgot to put it in the fridge, so yes, we do have an ice cube each.
We're classy like
We're so classy. Quarantine classy. Oh yeah.
no fun is had.
No.
We're here today to talk to you about opals.
Yeah, so on Thursdays we've been doing our live trunk shows, and we decided to do a little educational series the last week or so, and last week was sapphires, which was really fun. And this week we are going to talk about
Last week was
opals. Emeralds.
The week before that was
The week
sapphires.
before that was sapphires.
But we have a request to talk about opals.
It's
Is the point?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Who are we?
It's Thursday.
So we had a request to talk about opals, which we love. So we are
Very
very,
much.
very happy to talk about opals and the collection of opals that we currently have in the store. So opals are unique among all the gemstones in that they are not a mineral. They are not a crystal that grows in the ground. It's sediment. So it's years and years of water trickling through the layers of all the hard dirt and picking up all the other things and forming into this hard mass in the rocks that has all this different colors and color flashes and everything. There's just every single one is unique, which I think is really cool.
Elegant sediment.
Elegant sediment, yes. So
Oh, nice.
because they are formed when water is trickling down through all those layers of the earth, they do have a little bit of water content still in the gem itself, which makes them very, very sensitive to temperature changes. So that's why with opals, you have to be extra careful if you're going from a very warm place to outside in the very, very cold in the wintertime. Just that transition from the temperatures can cause that opal to crack.
Don't wear your opals in the hot tub.
Don't wear, no, don't. They're very, very sensitive.
Don't wear your gold jewelry in the hot tub either.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a general rule,
Don't wear your jewelry
but
in the hot tub.
especially don't wear your opals in the hot tub.
Yes. So they
They'll be
don't,
very sad.
yeah, they don't like chlorine, and they don't like chemicals and that kind of thing. But they still can be a really nice gemstone to wear. So don't be
Absolutely.
afraid of them. I think they're really awesome for necklaces and earrings, especially. Rings you do have to be a little bit more careful about, but you know, you can still wear them. But they're more sensitive. They're one of the more delicate gemstones.
Just
but
may not be an everyday ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's several different kinds of opals, and a lot of times they're defined by where they are found in the world. So the most famous opals are the Australian opals. That is where opals have been found for a very long time. Lightning Ridge is an actual name of a place where opals are mined.
That's so cool sounding.
If you think of lightning. Where black opals they find a lot of times. You can go if you're heading over to Australia sometime when there is tourism again. It will happen. You can go into shops all over and they'll have opals everywhere. So we work with several different opal dealers, and some of them will buy the rough stones themselves, like the actual chunks of rock that have the opal in them, and cut the opal out of that. Some, do buy things
Really
that are,
cool.
yeah, that's really cool. Some do buy pieces that are already cut, and they're called calibrated sizes, where they're like a standard size that go into a standard setting. But a lot of times we find opals that are in like super funky shapes. So they're not anything that's standard, and it's something that needs to have a custom setting made for it. So a lot of times you have that really beautiful opal in a really unusual setting.
For example.
Something like this is a really cool shape opal, and this is one of those Australian opals, and it just has a really neat color to it, and it's also very
Carrie's bumping into her wine glass.
you see those kind of veins of color going across it, which is really, I think, very different, and is something that caught our eye with that particular gem. This one, I think we're eventually going to make a pendant for. Again, sometimes we have problems with our custom design and being inspired to a setting that's going to show off that gem the way we have it envisioned in our head, which is fun. stone has a lot of blue color in it. A lot of times opals have different color flashes where you'll see some red color tones.
This one, if we can get this one.
This is also a really great example. This one's got
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
that
of
one's got a
pinkish
good
red
one.
in it.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna just take it off of the
And that's called,
display.
in an opal, that is called play of color. So you can see as the light hits it from different angles, those colors shift and move, and it looks different from every
Okay,
angle, which
this
is
way.
just
No,
super
it's
cool.
coming through really well.
Yeah, to get the red.
So this particular opal,
You guys, it's so much better in person too. Opals always are, but oh, it's so pretty. This is a brand new design for us, and I love it so much.
We may or may not already be
This
fighting
is
over it.
A custom piece. Save us from ourselves. So pretty.
so that one is another, that is a black opal. When it's got a black or a gray kind of background color, it's considered a black opal. The white opals you'll see will also have that really cool color flash.
They're so
You see
pretty.
that color flash?
Oh. I like the setting on that one too. It's got
Yeah,
kind of a
it's
vintage
very
style.
vintagey. But this is more of the white opal, so it's got that white background, but still has those color flashes of the green and the orange and the pink as the light hits off of it. Right, moving too fast.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
This ring is my best friend's favorite piece we have in the store,
Isn't that beautiful?
and it has been for like a few months.
I love it. It's kind of got like an infinity style band with little diamonds in it, and then that vintage halo style, which is just gorgeous. Definitely one of my favorites.
Very elegant, very timeless.
Now those are both solid opals, so it's opal all the way through. A lot of times you'll also see what are called opal doublets. And what that means is they've taken a really thin layer of the opal crystal itself and left it on that ironstone backing, or sometimes it'll be on a different backing. And what that does is it doesn't allow the light to go through the opal, so you get a more intense play of color. You see that ironstone back on the back there.
And you might be able to see from the side
Yeah, just a little bit.
the layering there, which is kind of cool.
And it also makes the stone a little bit more stable. So it's nice when you have a gemstone that had, or a section of opal that's got crazy color, but it might be a little bit too thin to just be on its own. So if we can leave it on that stone backing, then that gets it a little bit brighter color, and it makes it more stable and more wearable.
Which we appreciate.
Absolutely. So this one we looked at was one of our new custom collections.
Yes.
We've got a couple other ones in that
This is a
collection
new
as well.
Champagne Jewelers only one of a kind pieces. It's
Yeah.
in rose gold, but also these little white spots here, that's actually platinum.
And that doesn't suck.
No,
That's very pretty.
it's fantastic.
Something like this is another really pretty black opal. It's twisting around on me.
I like opals because
You see that
everybody,
big green
there's so
flash on
many
there.
different colors that you can
Hold
find in
on.
them.
Let's see.
Well, and
It's
that's the thing. There's
even if you're not a fan of,
There we go.
quote unquote traditional looking opals, you can find one that's got the colors that you like, the predominant colors that you like.
well, that's the thing. No two are the same. Like trying to
Exactly.
match a pair of opal earrings is just about impossible.
Yeah, it's
you
really
know, you can
difficult.
find stuff that's the same size, but to
Can
have
be
this-
done.
the same color. Yeah, I mean, we've got a really pretty pair here that are set up in sterling silver. I believe those are from our opal guy who cuts his own stones.
They
so
are.
he can match them with the best of them.
Oh yeah.
Those are really pretty dangles in the sterling silver.
Yeah. So pretty.
So those are all generally Australian opals. So
I don't
you
get
have
carried away at all.
the black opals and the white opals, and then you've got the opal doublets where they use that backing. So in recent years, there's been another discovery of opals called Ethiopian opals or water opals. And
These are so cool.
these are totally different looking. They're much more transparent in that a lot of light comes through them. Usually we see them cut in a thicker cabochon. That's the cabochon is the cut where it's flat on the bottom and has more of a dome on the top of the gemstone. And it still has that really pretty play of color. So you can see the different greens and blues and that kind of thing. But it's much more jelly-like, you know? It just kind of looks like a jellyfish to me sometimes. I've seen jellyfish like
Yes.
pins and stuff that have the water opal, the Ethiopian opal.
Yes.
That's the center stone.
The way I always describe it is that instead of seeing those like fractals of color like you would see in most opals, in the Ethiopian opals, they kind of blend together more smoothly, and they sort of swirl together instead of being
like a watercolor painting,
broken
where,
into
like,
fractals.
the colors are going together. So I think those are really cool. Again, those are more sensitive gemstones. You don't want to get those wet. Like, you don't even get them wet. If they soak in water, that can affect the color.
If they're splashed, that's fine.
Yeah,
but you're not gonna. Don't go swimming.
Yeah, if they're soaking in water, that's going to affect the color. That's going to affect the play of light that the different colors have in the gemstone. So again, it's really important to know how to take care of your pretties that you've got.
So how do we take care of opals?
How do we care? Very carefully. Bring them to your jeweler. With opals, with any opals, I feel like you have to have a more delicate jewelry cleaner. We've got a foaming jewelry cleaner that works really, really well and is good to use on delicate pieces like opals and pearls and emeralds, stuff that you do need to take a little bit more care with. And it works really well. You don't need to soak them. You don't want to soak them in anything. So, you know, if it says let them soak in the jewelry cleaner for a long time, don't do that. With our current situation and all the hand sanitizer that's everybody's using, you don't want to get a lot of hand sanitizer on your opal rings because there is still a little bit of a water content to them. The hand sanitizer can dry them out and make them more prone to cracking or crazing, as it is called in the industry. Crazing.
Learned something today.
So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you've got an opal ring on, maybe take that off before you put the hand sanitizer on, just so you don't dry out the stone too much. I love opals. I think the colors are wonderful, and you're always going to you'll find one that speaks to you. I think that's the important thing to remember with opals, is that when you're different color shades and the different shapes, there's going to be one that talks to you more than others.
It's true. This one in particular,
that one said
speaks to me more than any of the rest. Partly it's the design. I think that the design is really cool, but partly just the opal, the way that the colors are in it, and the way that the colors are arranged in it. I just think it's so special, and
it's beautiful.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, this one's not for sale. It is for sale.
It is for sale.
But it needs to go to a really good home.
Right? Exactly. Opals are the birthstone for October, so don't forget that. I'm sure there's an anniversary month that they go along with as well, but I don't know what it is off the top of my anniversary year.
I didn't look it up.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Neither do I.
There are a lot of opal. There's different, like, these are all really beautiful opals. There's the Mexican fire opal, is another type of opal, again found in Mexico, and it's an orangey color, and sometimes it can be just a straight orange color, and it's actually faceted like a diamond or a sapphire would be, where it's got the pointy bottom. Sometimes you'll see them in the cabochon, like these cuts, and it does have that play of color, so it might have a flash of that orange or green color in the red gemstone itself, that orangey red gemstone itself. Those, I feel, again, they talk to you. They say, come get me, this is me. So we had one that we sold a few years ago that Andrea and I were walking by a booth at a show, and this stone literally like jumped out at us from 5 feet away and was like, what is that? And we had to create a really beautiful custom design with that. And it was beautiful, and it was a one-of-a-kind piece because that was a one-of-a-kind opal. They're all one of a kind. That's one of the cool things about them. So if you like different color gemstones, and if you like stones that have an organic look to them and have that different colors and that kind of thing, I think opal is a really great option, especially for, you know, necklaces and earrings, because that's something that doesn't get as much wear. You can definitely have them for rings. It's just something that needs to be, you know, a little bit, just have to be mindful, a little bit aware of, we'll say. There are lab created opals as well. You can tell, like, you know what they are. It's not subtle.
What's one of the easy ways to tell?
Oh, hey, it is the 14th year anniversary gift.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you in the comments.
Tibbs for the win.
Thank you.
Way to Google on the fly.
Brought to you today by Tibbs Googling it. I was just gonna say, what's one of the ways to tell if an opal is synthetic or lab created?
The
versus
easiest
natural?
way that I think to tell is actually look at the side of the opal. So it almost looks like it grows in like a column pattern. So instead of seeing all those flashes of light just very random in the gemstone itself, when you're looking at the side of the stone, you'll see columns of color.
It's almost like stripes.
Yeah. And that's the easiest way to show, because as that particular stone is growing before it's cut, those are all grown that way. If you're looking at it with a high power magnification like you do as a gemologist, you'll see almost a honeycomb pattern, because it's those columns are growing each individual color. It doesn't happen like nature where it's very random.
Right.
It's a block of color.
So for example, if you look at, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it on the camera, but if you look at the side profile of that particular opal, you will see that it is not in straight up and down stripes, but that it's got those very organic looking fractures and patterns to them. And if you look at the front, you can see that too. This one, Betsy really likes this one.
I love this one because you can kind of play up the fire that you see in the bottom of
It's
that
really
pear.
cool.
It's really neat.
I wasn't particularly crazy about this one at first, and then I was looking at it just on the display, and you could see reflected off of the metal at the bottom. It was like glowing.
Yeah, it showed up in the video.
Like glowing orange, because it seemed like there was like a light inside the opal shining down. It was so cool.
Yep.
So
Opals are cool.
They're really cool.
They're really cool.
We like them.
Mm-hmm.
We like them
Yes.
a lot. Something to note about tomorrow, as you know, we'll give a little sneak peek for what's going to be in our sale tomorrow. I think these are going to be, aren't they?
They are.
I believe this
And
is-
something else that's out here that isn't,
Ah.
it's brand new, and
We'll let you. Oh,
Should I tell you, or I just told my
No, you can go,
so
Tom.
Nobody notices.
No.
I'm pointing to this particular.
We're going to
necklace 'cause it's
do
really
a
cool.
little sneak preview of some of our brand new things that are not on the website yet, because our customers who follow us on social media love us so much, and we love them too, and we
Give you
want
a
to give you a
little
little
sneak
little sneak preview.
and this one has a canary yellow sapphire on top of it,
Oh, how
which I
cool is
think is
that?
really neat. So,
Something else to note about tomorrow's sale is that it is the last one.
of the big crazy sales.
It is the last one that we'll be doing for a while, so
We're still gonna
be
have,
there, be square.
Yeah. So this is really your last great opportunity for a while to really get those amazing deals on some of our everyday beautiful jewelry. We are going to feature quite a few items tomorrow night, and definitely take advantage of those. You don't want to sit on them. After next week, we're still going to do Friday Night Lives, because it's fun,
We have a blast.
and we hope you have fun too. But we're going to be focusing on kind of special opportunities to buy things. So we're going to partner with different designers that we work with. We're going to showcase certain categories of the store, and it's not going to be 50% off. It's going to be a lot of one-time only type stuff, where if you if you fall in love with a piece, you want to jump on it, because it might be one of a kind from that particular designer.
It's not something that we're going to carry regularly, because
Right.
it's just not something that we can do with the space that we have in our store. But since we're closed right now, we can get some things in temporarily to show you, since we're not putting out showcase every day like that. And so it is a unique opportunity where you can see some things in our store that you wouldn't normally get to see.
Yep.
So
really
definitely
excited.
tune in.
We're really excited for that, and that'll start not tomorrow, but the Friday after that. So definitely check back, and we'll give you more information about that in the future, of course.
Betsy will keep you informed, as she always
As she does. So if you have any questions about opals, give us a shout. We'll be happy to talk to you about them. We do love our opals and other gemstones.
Very much.
And I'm sure we'll pick another beautiful stone for next week to talk about too.
If there are any questions that you have about gemstones or about anything else about jewelry or the jewelry making process, give us a shout. We take your suggestions. We're happy to hear what you guys want to know about. So gives us ideas.
Yeah, and it's really easy.
to talk
Just
about.
send us a message through Facebook. Send us a message through our website. It's really easy.
Absolutely.
We check those every day. That's how we get to communicate with you guys all the time. And we love talking about gemstones and diamonds and jewelry in general. So
And we
it
miss
makes us
you.
happy.
So please message us. We really miss people.
Really miss people. So
Yeah.
come back next week, Thursday at 3 o'clock for our Facebook Live Trunk Show Happy Hour.
Mm-hmm.
And be sure to join us tomorrow night on Friday at 7:30 for our last giant sale, blowout sale
Tell your
of
friends.
Facebook Live jewelry.
Make sure you're there.
Woohoo. We'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
Cheers.